Hello time travelers! Welcome to this guitar stuff video, because I do play guitar as a hobby and I have music and something that I'm interested in. For subscribers coming back, before you click off the video, you might find this stuff interesting. It might be something entertaining to watch. For other folks that have Stratocasters, what I'm doing, fixing this bridge so that it stays in tune and the intonation is correct. Specifically, setting up for intervals. Let me show you the problem. Hold on a second. All right, check it out. Here's the problem. The high string is going to be D, and then A. That's a little flat. So this is what it sounds like with a full open chord. But here's the problem. Here's the open high D. But if I play it on the octave, it's sharp. And no matter what I do to adjust the intonation, it won't fix it. And the reason is, I wonder if you could see it, the bridge is too high. That means the distance from where the strings go over the saddles all the way to the nut is too short, and that's what's making the note sharp. This is my look of disapproval. So anybody that's curious, this is a cheap Chinese squier strat from before they got good in China. So don't get too excited. When I first installed this bridge to replace the other bridge that was falling apart, I set it up using the post-it note method, and it's where you like do some steps and you have a certain set of post-it notes so you know what tuning that is, and then you adjust it and then you have another stack of post-it notes. And that worked the first time, and it stayed that way as long as when I changed the strings, I changed one string at a time until all 6 were changed. I don't mean change one string when it goes bad. I mean when it's time to change the strings, you change them one at a time instead of cutting them all and taking them all out at the same time. Then one time I cut them all and took them all out, and I did the same method, and the intonation was way off. So obviously the first step you want to do is take the back cover off of here to expose your springs. And if you're going to use 10 gauge strings or higher, I recommend using 4 springs, but I can't find my other one right now, and I might have gotten this guitar with only 3, I can't remember. And the side that has the bass string is where you want to have the 4th one. So 1, 2, 3, skip, and then 4. Now if you don't have something like this yet, you need to get it. String winder. This is like cheapo thing off of Amazon where you can spin this around and loosen or tighten the tuners really quickly, or one of these kinds that you can use in a drill. Like this one I could just hand wind or take this out like that and I could stick it in a drill. First things first is to loosen all your strings. And that one popped. Ugh. What am I doing? I have locking tuners! Oops. Well, I might as well stick new strings in here anyways. The next step is to actually loosen the springs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It's just about 1 whole turn, so 4 quarter turns. Oh, get out of here, strap. You're not in this scene. And I should have done this first. You need to take out your trem bar so you don't break it. Toss. And get that spring out of there. Is the spring going to come out? I put a spring from Fender in there. Oh, I think I see it buried way down in there. Oh well, it's not going to come out. Now we want to loosen the springs in the back so the bridge lifts up just a little, because right now it won't lift up at all. All right, what's going on here? Because it's so loose that my springs are coming out. I'm just doing this to get an idea of how much tension it really needs. Okay, it lifts a whole bunch. And that's not even the strings doing it. So let's put on the outer 2. Seems barely has any tension at all. There, I got it to where it just wants to lift just a tiny amount. Let's put my middle spring back in. Make sure that's still the case. Now I'll loosen it a little bit more. Now let's see. Yeah, okay. Still got spring falling off. So I'm thinking this side can tighten down a little bit until it grabs it. Maybe I have mixed springs in here or something? I don't know. I'm going with this. It's got a little bit of give. Now I'm going to tune the guitar up to standard tuning so that people that play standard tuning, you know, you just your normies, will be able to follow. Check it out. I did it, and the bridge, to me, looks super high again. But when I checked the intonation by playing the octave, only this string was bad. Like, I'm not sure what I did. So I'm thinking, tighten it a little bit. Considering it was so loose earlier, the springs weren't to come off. I can kind of move it up and down right now. All right, check it out. There's the bridge level. The still might be a little high, but it's a lot shorter than it was before. And check this out. Low E, octave. Now that's a little high, but high E, octave, spot on. So now the next test is get the trem bar back in there and test it. What we want is when we ring out the octave of the high E string and pull this all the way up to where it flattens out, you have an F. So let's try it out. So I got F sharp. So that means I want to give it less travel when I'm pulling all the way up. What do I have to do to fix that? Loosen these all again and tighten the springs just a little bit. I'm just going to give a couple half turns, so a whole turn on each one of these. Just a little bit. I'm thinking I'm giving these like half turn or something. Now tune it again and test it again. I didn't show you this earlier in the editing, but when you change all the strings at the same time, it takes a lot of steps to tune the guitar. Because you tune each string. And then you go back and the first one you tuned is out. And that's because of the floating bridge. And you basically have to just keep doing this until they're all in tune. And it's little micro adjustments by the time you get to the last one, like this. And I just busted a string. Dang it. Does happen sometimes. And this is why when I change my strings, I do them one string at a time. Well, this is one of the reasons. The bridge being a pain in the butt to set up is the main reason. Luckily, I had a spare pack with just a couple strings in there, and this is one of the ones that it had in there. Snippy, snippy! With this style bridge, if I tighten the intonation screw, that's going to move the saddle in that direction and make the string length longer. so that's going to make the pitch lower. But if I loosen an intonation screw, that's going to move the saddle in this direction, which is going to make, you know, the point where the string touches the saddle closer to the nut, which is going to sharpen the pitch. All right, I got some of these strings intonated, like this one. So let's try it. That's a whole step and a half. Exactly. So I'm going to repeat the process of loosening these up, tightening the springs in the back a little bit, tuning it, and then checking the octave and pulling this all the way up as far as it will go so that I get one whole step on the high E string. All right, I got it. Check it out. Open E, octave E, octave E, right up to the step. So now I just have to make sure my intonation is set for all the other strings and I'm done. And in case you're curious, my screws are so far in that they can only go like 1/2 millimeter more before there's no threads showing anymore. Let's try just a little bit of jamming to see if maybe it sounds better than it did on my previous videos when people complained about it sounding out of tune. Keep in mind I didn't intonate all the strings yet, just a couple of them. Hopefully that's in focus. Wow, I don't think it's ever sounded that good. That's amazing. Try another one. And since this is a R vlog, then we have the obligatory random thing and dad joke. This week's random thing is this random meme I found. It says, her, I'm a big country fan. She's probably talking about country music. Me, trying to impress her. China is very large. Alright, for the dad joke time, let's see what ChatGPT can give us. I just did a video about setting up the floating bridge on a Squier Telecaster Give me a relevant dad joke that would fit the context of the video. Why did the guitarist refuse to play on a sinking ship? Because he didn't want to deal with any fret floats. What? Fret. And I have a tech thing for this video. The tech thing is usually something that you might look at and go, hey, I might be able to use one of those things. Or it's at least interesting. And it's a light that I use to illuminate my pedal area. You could use it for other stuff, but you can see how easy it is to see all my pedals. I used to use this LED string strip that has USB thing on the other end, and I put hot glue on it, but it kept coming off. This is far superior. Check it out. Woo! Turn it off for right now. It's lithium ion, rechargeable with a USB-C slot, and it's got on, off, and automatic motion sensing is the option that's over there. And it comes with a magnet thing that sticks to the back and a two-sided tape that you put on whatever, which is what I put on underneath here. I'll put that back for right now. And here's my mixer, and the pedals that go at the end of my pedal chain are actually up here because it's a complicated stereo what's in. I'm not going into that right now. But I got one of those lights right here, and it doesn't need the two-sided sticky tape with the magnet that came with it because this is a metal frame. See that? And if I'm working up here with these pedals that I actually use for my vocals, I just move it up here because I'm standing and I need to be able to see what I'm doing. Obviously my microphone stands in the way, but you get the idea. Thank you to anybody that stayed through the whole video to see this interesting, cool thing that I do with my life sometimes as a hobby, and hopefully it'll be a bigger part of my YouTube channel in the future. Like, subscribe, and Patreon, and all those things. And I'll play you out. You can listen to something that I was playing to test the guitar with for my end screen.